Hello all, and hello none. Obviously, there's no one on at the moment, so it's just me talking to myself. Thought I'd go live, sort of impromptu, solo live. I know what's the time, 11 o'clock ish. My sorry, I was looking at my phone there. It's about 11 o'clock, 10 past 11, 12 past 11. Got 28% on my tablet, but I can plug that in. Yeah, I thought I would go live and see. Hiya, Michael. How you doing? Do you want to come on? I can send the link over. Let me know. But yeah, how are we both, Monkey and Michael? Hope you're well. I'm dropping things on the floor there. So, 2023, first live of 2023. I know that me and Matt will be back to sort of our lives as of next weekend. I don't know who's doing what yet, or who's, in who's taking that first shot, shall we say. But I thought I'll sat around doing nothing. Yes. Jeremy Renner, yeah, that is sad. His accident. He's all right though, isn't he? Nothing else has happened since last I saw. He was okay. Hold on 1 minute. I don't even know the ins and outs of what he had. There we go. All I know is he had an accident. What was the ins and outs of it? Let me know. Thank God. I've just edited a video. It's my 50th live, not live. It's my 50th collectible corner episode. It's 42 minutes long because it is a build of something. I've got Michael backstage. Let me bring Michael in.
Hey, AJ.
Hi, Michael. How you doing?
Tired, but what's fucking new there?
Why are you tired? What's going on? What? Late night?
No, just my usual broken sleep throughout the night, waking up 4 or 5 times a night.
Why is that? What's causing that?
No fucking clue. I brought it up to doctors. I even used Sleep Cycle to keep track of my sleep, to show it to them. Nothing.
Have you tried? I'm not a fan of sleeping tablets, so I wouldn't suggest that. But
I took it once, and after that one experience, yeah, it did knock me out for a while, but the effect it had then on my mother when she was alive makes me not want to take them.
Yeah. I would suggest, because I use antihistamine. There's an antihistamine I use. It's got something in it, the drowsiness in it, but they work wonders when I can't sleep. They really do.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I'm in the temporary recording area now since I've taken down my tree. I'm pushed the bookcase over here.
Cool.
Next week is when I'll be hopefully starting on the media room.
Well, if you need any, like I said, any advice, let me know. Yeah. Or not advice, but if you want an idea.
Yeah.
So the Monkey says, so let's just bring this up. So Jeremy Renner and his injury, you know about that?
Yeah, I've seen the video he posted in the ICU with his mother and sister.
Yeah, so apparently he was saving somebody and got hurt. The truth came out later on once the family was okay sharing it. Yeah, I know he's in critical, but that's good. I like Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, I like him as well. Like, he has a really good singing voice.
I don't know about that one, but
no, I've listened to a few of his songs because he's I think he's put out an album or two, and so when I found it out, I rushed straight and listened to one of his songs, and he's pretty good.
No, I have to have a listen. I do like it. I mean, I like him in movies. I loved him. Hawkeye. TV series has got to be my favourite Marvel series. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I definitely did enjoy that one when that was coming out last year.
So let's talk about your top 10.
My top 10 Star Trek episodes.
Yeah, because I said to you that I was going to.
You had a plot hole in All Good Things, so I'm all ears.
Okay, so I haven't seen All Good Things, and for anyone who don't know what All Good Things is, it's the very last episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Michael's done a 2-part video, fantastic video. Go check it out. Of his top 10 Star Trek episodes. Sorry.
For now, it can easily change when I get around to completing watching Next Gen, because I've only watched, I'd say, less than half of it. And when I actually, it's the only 2 Star Trek series that I haven't seen in full is the original series and Next Gen. So I plan on doing that, watching those through at some point. I'm just currently working on my Doctor Who rewatch at the moment.
Okay, so what's made you watch Next Gen out of order then, or is that just the way it sort of fell?
Well, it was what the Sci-Fi Channel was showing on Sky. It was Next Gen and Voyager, and then I went and had when I got Netflix, I watched all of Voyager once or twice. And then I watched Enterprise because at the time I heard a lot of negative things about it, and I wanted to see if I actually enjoyed it, and I did. I loved it. Very underrated. And then I watched Deep Space Nine because it's another one that I heard a mixed bag on, and incredibly enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think Enterprise unfortunately fell at a time when obviously the Star Trek fatigue had set in. But Enterprise I love.
I love Enterprise.
I think it's a great series, and the shame that it didn't go longer. And obviously Deep Space Nine, is my favourite. But again, people didn't like that because it's less hopeful, it's darker. And I will admit, watching the first ones again, as much as I really enjoy them, but it is sort of like you get off the station a bit. There's that element to it. But I never felt that on my first watches. But let's talk about this plot point in All Good Things that I may or may not be remembering correctly. You might be able to enlighten me on it. So anyway, if I recall, it's been decades since I've watched it. All Good Things, I'll be honest. So the crux of the episode is that there's an anomaly traveling backwards through time that's gonna have some sort of catastrophic effect on something, and the reason that this anomaly has come about is because in 3 different timelines, the Enterprise has fired a
tachyon beam, I believe it was.
Yeah, from its deflector into the same point in space, but in 3 different timelines, in 3 different eras, but isn't it that it's Beverly Crusher's vessel that does one of the firing?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So wouldn't that be working on a different
wavelength?
Wouldn't that be different modulation, thus throwing the entire thing out, because it's now not the same ship firing on the same modulation in 3 different timelines?
Yeah, I get that. I think I have heard of that issue with All Good Things before. One thing that springs to mind is, with Picard being in all these different time points, he obviously knows the modulation from, in the 2 other points with the Enterprise. So maybe he might have done something to trick it that way. But saying that out loud now, it doesn't necessarily make sense. So
yeah, see, it's one bit of the episode that's always never sat right with me.
Yeah.
It because it's not the Enterprise elsewhere, it wouldn't necessarily have happened that way.
Yeah.
But there we go. It's just.
It is a plot hole, but it doesn't take away my enjoyment from All Good Things. It's one that I've gone back to multiple times and always find enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, no, it's a
Hence
good.
why it's high up on my list.
Yeah, no, it's a good episode. I won't deny that. It's just that
Yeah.
one element, that one plot element, since the very first time of watching it, just sat with me and bugged me. I picked it up on my first viewing and said, and I remember back in the day having conversations about it, and to this day, it just sits with me as sort of like it should have been the Enterprise in the three different times
Periods,
that fires the same because of the shield frequency being different per ship. But there we go. So, Michael, I've got a question here from Robert Fett's Bounty. Morning, guys. Thoughts on the Evil Dead Rise trailer? Have you seen that?
I haven't seen any of the Evil Dead films at all. It's definitely on the backlog for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on it is because I'm a big fan of Evil Dead, primarily because of its star, Bruce Campbell, who I adore. I love him. Now, he's not in the Evil Dead Rise. However, he is a producer behind it. So that's good. And I'll be honest, I saw a trailer that he done where he introduced the teaser to the trailer, which I thought was great because Bruce Campbell. And I didn't watch all of the R-rated, the Red Band trailer. I switched it off because I don't want to be. I don't want to see much of it. I want to go in blind. So I'm looking forward to the Evil Dead Rise. Obviously, I'm not going to be one of these people who say Bruce Campbell's not in it, so I'm not interested. I'm intrigued to see what they do, and it is on my top 10 most anticipated for the year. I'm intrigued by it, yes, but I didn't want to spoil it for myself.
Yeah, it's kind of like me with Doctor Who, with all the leaks that happen from the filming. I tend to avoid that as much as possible, so I can go into the series 100% blind.
Yes, I enjoy doing that now, and now I'm older. I do tend to, because I don't read film magazines now like I did back in the day when I was younger. I'd be buying Total Film Empire, SFX, Dreamwatch, all these different magazines. I've stopped with that primarily because of the cost of magazines and everything else that I was collecting at the time. And also you feel like you're reading, unless you're interested in a lot of the interviews, you're reading old news. And with the internet, internet sort of put paved to newspapers and magazines and that. So I do avoid a lot of news sites as well. And over the past couple of years have started to avoid many a trailer other than the very first initial trailer for something.
I'd be the same.
And on the one hand, it works. I think on the other hand, I'll probably miss out on some films that look good, and I then just sort of dismiss. So we got the monkey. I don't know. Do you know about the Ezra Miller news? Well, it says it there.
Let's see.
So you know that Ezra Miller's been a naughty boy in the press.
Oh yeah. I've kept up with all of that stuff. Yeah.
However long. How do you feel about DC letting Ezra Miller come back as the Flash if his new film hits 1 billion? I
don't think it'll hit 1 billion. I honestly don't think it would.
I don't think it will. If they can't get a Batman to hit 1 billion or Superman or anything like that to hit 1 billion, DC are wishing with this. Now I know Ezra Miller, like I said, he's not been very good in the press. He's been doing stuff, and what I've heard is that DC or Warner Brothers, I should say, are supporting him. And all the time that he stays out of trouble and stays on their sort of support program, they will support him. Now, I think that's good. I like the fact that, because I'll be honest, I don't know what's gone on in Ezra Miller's personal life. I don't know if he's mentally unwell. I don't know. But I like the fact that if he's come to them for help and said, look, help, I have got an issue, I've got a problem, I need help, that they're supporting him. I'm very much behind that. And
100% as I am.
Yeah, and workplaces doing that, because even in my own workplace, I will say that there's a stringent no alcohol, no drug thingamajig, and I do get drug and alcohol tested on a regular basis, blindly, and if I'm over the limit, it's a complete it should be a complete, I'm completely. But if I go to work and say, look, I've got a drug problem, they will offer help. But if I break any of the parameters of their help, then I'm out the door. And it's very to that. So on the one hand, it depends on how they want the story to go. It's possible they know that Flash won't hit 1 billion. They'll have projections. So it could be a sort of a way out for them, a potential way out that they know that that's going to be the case. There we go. And we'll just see how it plays out. But if he was to carry on in the character, I did say that the idea of having the Flash as a Flashpoint film that reset the DC universe with Ezra Miller carrying on as that character, with him carrying on as that character as a link from the old DC to the new, as long as he retained all the memories of the old DC coming into the new, then it would all be good. The other element of that is obviously we've sacked Henry Cavill, etc., who hasn't done anything wrong whatsoever. So there's kind of a do you know what I mean? It kind of still doesn't make sense in that sense. So I'm very much up in the air about it, and I don't know how my feelings fall, because a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. But there we go. So Jamie's in. Hi Jamie, how you doing? Good morning, chaps. Hope you're well. I saw you got the Beastmaster film show recently. The actor who plays him is going to London Film Comic Con in spring. Oh, what, the Mark Singer, the film Beastmaster will be there, and he also starred in the TV series V. I might go to that one. I like Mark Singer; he's pretty good. The Beastmasters. I think I've had them for years and years and years. I was just sorting stuff out, and I thought, because I had the TV series there as well, which Mark Singer did appear in, not as the Beastmaster. I thought that was pretty good. There we go. No, it's not good. He should be off-screen recovering. He probably, I don't know if he's working or if he is off-screen recovering, but he's off-screen, as in he's not filming anything at the moment. I assume that's TJ, a work in progress. How are you doing, TJ? Morning all.
Morning.
Johnny Depp was cut on allegations alone. Yes.
Yeah.
The thing is, that was a few years ago now. It's feasible. Things have changed.
Yeah.
They do after a while. They do, we do get like in the workplace, it takes time for change to happen, doesn't it? On how we perceive things one day and then we perceive the next. So for mental health reasons, I'm just saying this, that the stigma attached to mental health several years ago was far worse than what it is today in a lot of workplaces. It's more acceptable and more talked about, and a lot of work being done behind the scenes with that sort of stuff. So I can't really comment on, when you compare it, I admit there's a sort of like, why'd you do that to him? But then time changes stuff. Yeah,
like I'm constantly hearing rumors that he's been recast as Jack Sparrow, but with no credible sources. Like me on Twitter, if I don't see it being tweeted from Discussing Films, I genuinely don't end up believing it, because I believe Discussing Films to be like big reputable source compared to all these to Screen Rant and all that crap.
Yeah, I think a lot of places do the rumor mill just for hits.
Yeah.
Comic Book Cast is another one that I watch, but it's like he's coming out with something every day And I'm sure that he just sits around and makes this stuff up. But there we go. So why did they sack Henry? Because they're going a different direction with the DCU. Simple answer is obviously Henry Cavill announced his return and came back in Black Adam for that final scene. And then recently we get the news that he's been let go now because James Gunn and this other fella coming in to take over the DC universe of film, and they want to do it their own way, and there's no room for what exists. But this is where the Ezra Miller stuff is a bit sort of up in the air. Do you know what I mean? There we go. TJ says, I thought he left to do Warhammer.
No, that, as far as I'm aware, is rumored that he might be making something about Warhammer, and which I've always stated, you know, if there's anyone to do Warhammer justice, it would be Henry Cavill, because he is massively into it from interviews that I've seen, and I think in his hands, like with The Witcher, he'll do a fantastic job at it.
Yeah, because have you got? See, now Warhammer is not something that I'm into. It's not something that okay. So Warhammer is
a tabletop game. Yeah, they're little miniatures. Yeah, it's a tabletop game that you can play, where you have your own army versus another army. There's many different races and species like Space Marine, Orc, regular Marines, that type of stuff. And you build your army, you build little miniatures, you paint them, you build like vehicles and you paint them, and you'll just set them all out on this big table, and then it's look at the dice essentially, from what memory serves me correct, of like how much damage you can do versus how much damage you take type of thing.
So Dungeons and Dragons.
Essentially, but with better miniatures.
All right, yeah, because I've been the shops, and I know I did have a mate at work once who was heavily into it. He didn't play it, but he liked collecting the figures and painting.
Yeah. But it's a very expensive hobby, according to my cousin who's got back into it recently. It is a very expensive hobby. Like some of the miniatures you could be paying several £100 for.
Really? Wow.
For just a tiny thing.
I haven't got the patience to paint. I ain't got the artistic. It's just crap when I do something like that. I just ain't got what some people can do with it. Good luck to them. You know, even when I build, my missus once bought me it's still upstairs under the bed, because I got a fascination with World War II planes and Spitfires. She thought she'd buy me an Airfix Spitfire, but a big one. And I did say to her, why? I wish she hadn't bought me that, because inevitably I'm not very good. I rush them. I can't get the detailing right. And, you know what I mean? Luke, hi Luke, how you keeping, mate? Happy New Year. Hi AJ, how are you, mate? Have you heard about Jeremy Renner? Yeah, we was talking about Jeremy earlier. It was the monkey who told me that he saved someone or something. Well, I wish him all the best, and I hope he has a speedy recovery. I wouldn't like to think of anything happening to him. I wouldn't mind seeing him as Hawkeye again at some point, or coming into Marvel, whatever he does. Have you seen the trailer for the new Nicolas Cage film, Michael?
I have.
Or something?
Yeah. I thought it'd be something that I would skip, but after watching that trailer, I kind of want to go see it. It looks very, very good. I can't lie, it really looks good.
Cool. See, my thoughts on it were a bit different after watching the trailer. Not that it looked bad or anything. I thought that, because obviously the trailer kept Nicolas Cage very much hidden until that last scene in the trailer. So it was all Nicholas Hoult. I felt that the trailer probably only showed us maybe clips from the first 15 minutes of the film and nothing else. And I'm wondering if it's one of those films that I go into where I think conceptually I'm I would hope for a lot more out of it, and then when I see it, I'm going to be somewhat let down.
Yeah,
that's what I can say about the trailer. I'm not saying it looked bad. It didn't. I wished it showed more of Nicolas Cage, obviously, because the draw for me is Nicolas Cage, and it does look like it's sort of partly inspired by the film turned TV show What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Very good, actually. Very good. Very much worth watching.
I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, the TV show's gone for 4 years now, 4 seasons, with a 5th coming, so it must have something. And it's very funny. Even the film's very good. Very cheap film, directed by Taika Waititi, who stars in it, who directed Thor Ragnarok and that. And yeah, very good, very good. He even did make an appearance in the TV show. Shuli. No rocks. Shuli, you can't be serious. Don't call me Shuli. It's a little sort of trying to do an airplane joke there. I don't know what Shuli means. Jamie says our boiler has broken, so it's flipping freezing here. My nipples look like wine gums. Laugh out loud. Saw a Man Called Otto yesterday, starring Tom Hanks. Really moving and funny film. I want to see that. I like Tom Hanks. I think he's solid. He's probably one of my favourite actors. You know, he doesn't really put a foot wrong, does he?
Well, not necessarily, no, but I definitely didn't like him in Elvis. That's for sure.
I know a lot of people didn't like him in Elvis, but were we meant to like him in Elvis?
No, we weren't. No.
So did that work in its favour?
Yeah.
I didn't have an issue with him in Elvis. I didn't have an issue with him.
Yeah.
But we're not meant to like him. But yeah, as for so he's when a boiler breaks, it's expensive. It's horrible. He looks like nipples looks like wine gums. So he looks like he's smuggling peanuts at the moment, shall we say. Luke says, I'm looking forward to the Avengers Secret Wars because Robert Downey Jr. is back as Iron Man from another world. I have heard the rumblings of that.
Yeah, I've heard the rumors about that, yeah.
And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if everyone comes back, if they get everyone back. I think if they want to, I know there's talks of the end scene outstripping the end of Endgame. You've seen Endgame, haven't you?
Yeah, I've seen it.
When they all come through the portals.
Yeah.
And if they want that to outstrip that, they're going to need all those people in that final fight. I'm talking about all the, even if they're from other worlds. Chris Evans as a variant of Captain America. That'd be fantastic to see.
Oh, yeah. That'd be, I'd say it'd be probably, it depends on how they go about it. It'll either be the best kept secret in Hollywood or the worst kept secret, depending on how much it gets leaked.
Oh wow, here's a question. RH Media, good morning to everyone. What's the best Blu-ray set ever released in your opinion? And I'm talking film quality, extras, etc., not packaging. Mine is the Alien Quadrilogy, fantastic set and great extras.
I think I have the anthology, not quadrilogy. I think I've seen the quadrilogy in my local CEX.
So what does your one have? Take it off the shelf.
Yeah, my one is the Alien Anthology, which has Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection.
Yeah, does it have both versions of the film, of each film? Because there's like a director's cut and all that sort of stuff. How many discs do you get in that one?
With Alien, the first Alien, I just get a singular disc.
Okay.
Let's see. For the extras, it has an audio commentary by Ridley Scott, cast and crew. Then there's another audio commentary for the theatrical version only.
So you do have the theatrical and the uncut version on there then?
Yeah, I think only for like the audio commentary with Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Then with Aliens, again, singular disc. and it has audio commentary by director James Cameron, cast and crew. Introductions by James Cameron for the special edition only. Then there is a final theatrical isolation score by James Hammer, and then a composer original isolated score by James Hammer and deleted and extended scenes.
What's the running time on that? Has it got two different run times on that Aliens?
Let me try and locate it. It has two versions. Original version approximately 131 minutes, and then special edition approximately 148 minutes.
Yeah, so you might, yeah. So I mean, I would agree on RH Media there. What they've done with the Alien set was fantastic. A lot of fantastic extras. Two versions. I'm not sure if Alien Resurrection had two versions. I can't recall.
With Alien 3, we've got audio commentary by cast and crew, the final theatrical isolated score, and deleted extended scenes.
Do you have two different run times on that as well?
Let's see. Run times. Yep, two different run times. 109 minutes and 138 minutes.
Yeah, so you've got both. Yeah, and I've got to agree. I can't think of anything that's better than the Alien set because you do have a lot of extras. You do have both versions of each film there, and to have that all combined in one set is fantastic.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to delving into the Alien series finally whenever I get around to it.
Well, I thought that was going to be this year instead of waiting for Halloween.
It's
Michael hasn't seen them yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Alien films yet, but definitely soon. Like, I haven't seen any movie so far this year because I was focusing on my rewatch of Doctor Who Series 2 for a video that's coming out next month for it. And I only just recently finished it, and now I'm actually starting my Series 3 rewatch. So it's I definitely need to iron out what I'm uploading next month. But I'd say Alien could possibly be the next Tales from my backlog, which is a new series that's dropping not next week, but the week after.
Seriously, you won't be disappointed. And also, the film looks fabulous. I mean, it doesn't look aged at all. Maybe with the exception of some haircuts or something. It's a fantastic film. And after you've watched it, I'll point out something to you.
Okay.
I won't point it out before, I'll point it out after.
Yeah.
In how cleverly the film is designed and something you would have missed. Which everyone would have missed on first viewing and maybe on second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. But yeah. So Luke's saying hello to RH Media. It's a game of Risk, essentially. We're talking about Warhammer. Blue Harvest Toys, how are you doing?
Warhammer.
Blimey. RH, morning Luke. How are you, RH Media? Robert Downey Jr. coming back was inevitable. He is Iron Man.
Well, he did say in an interview with Joe Rogan, I believe, or one of them, that it would have to depend on the script.
Yes.
If memory is correct.
Yeah, but there's one thing that is more appealing than the script. Yes.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is Iron Man. Back in the day, interestingly, there was a comic book artist called, I say back in the day, he still works today, called Alex Ross. I did put up a picture of an issue of Fantastic Four the other day, and it was in my opening video where Alex Ross had drawn the front cover of The Invisible Girl. She wasn't invisible, so she was on the cover. And Alex Ross.
That would be a perfect way for perfect marketing, just save you having to draw her, just say, oh no, she's just invisible all the time.
That's right. He drew a comic back in the 90s called Marvels for Marvel Comics, and it was a 4-issue thing, fully painted, and this geezer uses like models and stuff like that to get his images off of, and he actually used the look of Timothy Dalton for Iron Man, for Tony Stark. That's was his basis of Iron Man back then, and it worked.
Yeah.
I'm all good, thanks, Luke. Blue Harvest Toys. Cruise isn't Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Bloody hell! I agree, Luke.
I mean, wasn't it kind of rumored that he might be Iron Man in Multiverse of Madness? I think I remember.
It was as a sort of variant Iron Man, and it could work.
Good work.
Yeah. I think people are taking, like Blue Harvest said, it was a joke. Yes, I get that. He weren't being serious. Blue Harvest got a great channel, by the way. Go over and sub. He's a good bloke. And this morning, without spoiling anything, I did do a build, Mark, over at Blue Harvest. I did do a build, but keep it stum. It will come out soon. Actually, it won't be shown till April.
Okay.
Tom Cruise hangs onto planes, but is no Tony Stark. He was meant to play him. Yeah, that's what Michael just said. That's what Michael just said. And that's what Michael was going on. Tough crowd. Yep, it is, isn't it? Matthew Nichols, I'm sorry if I put fresh fruit and ice cream in blender. What happens when I get the milk from the fridge? Matthew Nichols, I'm sorry. If I put fresh fruit and ice cream in a blender, what happens when I get the milk from the fridge? I got no idea. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I went past the message from Oceans. Sorry.
Hi, Dan.
Nicolas Cage is also going to be in a Western movie this year as well. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Mike, Did You See That? Has already reviewed it. He got an advanced copy.
Oh.
And he's had the opportunity to watch and review it. That being said, I didn't watch the review because I like going into things blind. So I do avoid. I did acknowledge that he'd reviewed it, but I so I will watch that one when it's available.
Yeah.
TJ at Work says, I like Clive Owen. Watched Last Night from 2014. Highly recommend if you like Night. Excellent plot twist. Eddie Evil film. I've not seen Last Night.
It rings a bell, that's for sure.
What's the one that Matey done? He played 2014. I think I picture the image. But what was the film that Thingy done? My mind's drawing a blank. Mate, you played the Joker who died in Dark Knight.
Heath Ledger.
Didn't he do one called Last Night? Or Knight's Tale? Or was it Knight's Tale or something? I don't know.
One of those two I wouldn't know.
I'm getting confused between the two now. Medieval, excellent plot twist. Okay, I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I had a theory about Iron Man Return. Do you think No Way Home Doc Ock had a arc reactor? Do you think he'll bring Iron Man back to life?
I don't think the arc reactor is powerful enough to bring back someone from the dead. Now, I could be wrong because I haven't read any of the comics. So, but from what I know from the movies and their version of it, I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, I don't think they'll bring Tony Stark back to life because it will undo any impact of Endgame if they done that.
Undo that massive sacrifice that he done.
However, bringing a variant into, because it's all about variants, isn't it? And multiverse, so they can bring anyone back in that sense. What I would really like to see them do is bring in characters from outside the MCU again. I'm talking like maybe Thomas Jane as a Punisher, Nick, you know, and all this stuff was rumored for Multiverse of Madness because this is what people wanted.
Yeah, like I'd love to see
is-
Cage as Ghost Rider again because I
Yeah.
actually genuinely enjoyed the movies.
Mm.
And then maybe even bring back Wesley Snipes as Blade for, I don't know, a Blade versus Blade show off might be fun.
Yeah, they could do anything now if it's wanted. Clive was favourite for James Bond at one point. Glad he didn't get it. You're not a Clive Owen fan. I don't think he could do James Bond. Oh no, not as James. Henry Cavill as Bond. Yeah, like I said, they wouldn't do that.
No, they definitely won't. And we've had this discussion on lives before about this.
He's been Superman, so I'd never have him as Bond. I don't mind the rumours of Aaron Taylor Johnson possibly being cast as Bond.
I like him. Yeah, I like him as an actor. I love him in Nowhere Boy. That's where I was first introduced to him, I believe.
Because he's not. Yeah. He's not headlined a massive movie franchise. Okay, I know he starred as Kick-Ass, but he was, that was a long time ago now.
Yeah,
he was a lot younger, so he's changed in a lot in appearance.
Yeah. Well, no, he is headlining Craven, isn't he?
He is headlining Craven, yes. That'll down like a lead balloon.
But that I'd say that might. Well, I'm not going to necessarily say it's going to flop, but it probably will flop. Knowing Sony, after it's more than time, it probably will flop.
Yeah, that'll go nowhere. But I don't mind him being in cast, but I'm still optimistic about whether that's the case. Danny.
Hi, Danny.
He's on his way out to a CEX. Do you know, I ain't been out Blu-ray hunting. I did go last week, didn't I? I was going to go out today. I did consider going into Croydon today, where my local comic shop is, because they've got probably about 3 weeks of stuff for me built up there now. But I just didn't fancy it. I didn't fancy it.
I've been to my local CEX nearly every day this week, and in a little while I'll be doing it again because I have friends coming over soon, and we're going into town for around 2 because it's a Pokemon Go community day, so we're going around playing that. So I'll more than likely end up tipping into my local CEX and buying more stuff for the ever-growing bookcase that's behind me. Until I find new ones.
Cool. I'll take it you've seen them Back to the Futures behind you.
Yeah, that was the main reason why I had the first and the second one on DVD, and I wanted the trilogy on Blu-ray, so I just got the regular edition, which was like a tenner.
Yeah,
and then what annoyed me though is not long after acquiring it, I think it's one of the anniversary editions popped up in my local CEX. So I could have saved myself on postage then.
Yeah. Is there anything you're looking for? Do you just go in blind, into your CEX, or do you have anything in mind?
Well, you see, sometimes what I'll do is I'll look on the app to see what my local one will have, and then I'll be like, okay, that's something I'd want, that's something that I want. But 90% of the times when I go hunting, I just go blind. What's there? If it interests me, I'll pick it up. Like on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? No, sorry, it was Thursday. It was after I was on Pete's stream. I found a movie title of a movie that I've been searching for years, because as a kid there was 3 films I remember seeing on RTE, which is one of our Irish stations. And I found the names of 2 of the movies, which was Bicentennial Man and The Fifth Element. Couldn't find the name of the third until Pete's stream, and then when I found out my local CEX actually had one in stock, whilst I go grab it here. Where is it? Here it is. I went down, came back. Only went down for one thing. I came back with about eight different things, including the complete Firefly on DVD, which I got for like £3 in a charity
Okay.
shop.
Yeah,
Which I
Joss
haven't
Whedon.
seen Firefly. Yeah, I haven't seen Firefly. I've been told many a times to watch Firefly, so I picked it up for the cheap anyway. But the film that I remember bits and pieces of vaguely was AI,
Okay,
artificial intelligence.
that's a decent film.
Yeah, like I remember liking it as a kid. I just didn't know the name of it until someone mentioned AI, artificial intelligence, and one of the guys was talking about it, and alarm bells started to ring in my head. And then it was the Thursday that I decided to look up the trailer for it.
Mm.
Lo and behold, as soon as I saw something that I remembered, it clicked like that. And I went down, bought that for £1.
Cool, good, nice. So you got Firefly then, the complete series?
Yeah.
Do you have Serenity as well?
I do. I picked that up before I got Firefly. I picked that up a few months ago.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, Firefly was decent. It's a shame what happened with it.
Yeah.
I like, oh Christ almighty, my mind. Nathan Fillion. That's it.
Nathan
The
Fillion.
name I'm looking for.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's a great actor. It's a shame he's not in more. I do watch him in The Rookie, the TV series where he's a police officer.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Yeah. So I've not been to CEXs. I mean, at the moment, it's January anyway, so it's very quiet for releases. I have ordered a few bits off of eBay the past few days. Complete series 2 of Superboy, the TV series, because it's the only one I was missing.
Yeah.
And a couple of other bits as well. But yeah, I'm looking at sort of back catalogue titles to fill in some gaps at the moment. Where I've done the new room and I've deboxed a lot of stuff, I've come to realise, hold on a minute, where's that? I haven't got it anymore. I used to have it. Not with Superboy, but a few other bits. It's like, I think Babylon 5, I found all my Babylon 5s with the exception of Tales From, which was the very last thing they'd done, which was like a 90-minute film with 3 little stories in it. I can't remember, Tales of the Rangers or something, I think it was called. I don't know. Can't remember, but I've ordered that. But yeah. So wait. So when you go out for how many of you do this Pokemon thing?
Well, it's an app on the phone where you go out and you catch the Pokemon. And I
remember the game, but you say some of you get together to do it, yeah?
Yeah. 2 of my friends are coming over because with Community Day, what that does, they pick a particular Pokemon for this community that spawns for the 3-hour event. So this event will be from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Local time, depending on where you are in the world. And the shiny chance, which is it changes color then from what it normally is, boosts. They boost that shiny chance. So it's basically just go around, see how many you can get in a during the 3-hour window.
Okay, yeah.
So the first one of this year, and it's a new shiny that's been released, and as it stands, it's the only way to get it without buying a 3DS and X or Pokemon Y to try and get that Pokemon.
Okay, a lot of that's jargon to me, like Pokemon X, Pokemon Y. I don't know what that means, but there we go. But it gets you together with some friends and you go out and do some stuff. That's the good part of it. So there's still people playing this game then?
Oh yeah, there's still millions of people that still play. It's not as big as it was in 2016, but it's now just the regular Pokemon fans that have continued to play the games since that still play the game.
Yeah, no, that's good. There's a Jurassic Park one as well, isn't there? I think.
Yeah, there is though I think that shut down. I'm not 100% sure, but there was a Jurassic Park one. There was even a Harry Potter one, but that shut down. There's been several clones for sure. Yeah.
I could see a Ghostbusters one doing quite well. That'd be quite a good one.
The Ghostbusters one would do. I
Yeah.
I think they've done it, but I'm not 100% sure. Because something
Okay.
like that does ring a bell from a video that I watched. Now, it could be that I'm just thinking of, the concept of how it would be, or if they actually did do one. But I know another Nintendo series that they have is called Pikmin, and
Yeah.
they have a Pokemon Go style for that one. That Niantic, the company who made Pokemon Go, has done for that one as well.
Oh, cool. Cool. I can see Henry in that. I've lost in what? Henry in that. Is that about Warhammer or I don't know. I've lost the context of that. Right age. Coupler. I know. Yeah. Yes. I'll say yes to that.
I think I still have the Klingon dictionary somewhere around here.
Yeah. But yeah, he's hit the nail on the head. That goes back to
I had a feeling it would be that.
yeah. But that's my episode 50 of my collectible corner, which is like April. That's how far I'm ahead with it. Because collectible corner for me, some of them are very easy to film, very quick to film, so I can just I do them. And although like I said, I need to stop collecting collectibles because when I do my room tour, you'll see that I just haven't got the space for this stuff anymore.
Yeah.
So at the moment, it's just a thing. It does my nutting, right? Because yesterday, I don't know, I went on to the Disney shop website. Let me go there. The Disney Store website. And I couldn't believe some of the prices, as in cheap. And let me bring something up. Not Disney Plus. What are they called? Disney Shop?
Disney Store, I think.
Shop Disney UK. Yeah. Okay. So I'll show you something now. Now, a while ago, you may have seen it. I'd done an opening for Captain America.
Yeah, the
zombie figure. Right. Now, I bought that before Christmas in store, £30, and it was reduced. I don't know if you can sod it, drop my phone. Wait a minute. Let me open it up. Okay, so I bought that in store, reduced. It was about 30 quid.
Yeah.
Right, it's a 10-inch figure. It's a 10-inch figure, and on the Disney shop now,
£13.50.
£13.50 for that, and it's a really good figure.
Yeah, I watched that video. It's really, really good. Very, very detailed.
Right, and my thing's down to 10%. I'm gonna have to go and get a thing in a minute. And I just bought on there because they had it, and it's down to 15 quid. And it is a similar Boba Fett.
Oh, nice.
And it's $14.99. Now I know that's small, it's only about 8-inch.
Yeah.
But for $14.99,
you can't go wrong.
I said, okay, I'm having that. But $13.50 for that zombie Captain America. Not that I was upset that I paid 30 quid for it.
Yeah.
That didn't really bother me, obviously. So I'm glad that I got it. But to see it for $13.50, it's like, are these prices wrong or something? So, wow, yeah, I was very impressed with the price of that on there, and that Boba Fett one for 15 quid. And I know it's got to be a nice piece because it's similar. It's probably a bit smaller, but it's similar to the bits that I show, the figures, a lot of figures that I show. Yeah, so Tom Cruise's Iron Man, well, they do have 6-inch figures. Oh, yeah, because Tom Cruise is small.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a 1-to-1 scale. No crumbs to Tom Cruise figures. He won't allow it, probably because they'd be bigger than him.
Yeah.
Have you seen Rob Zombie's Monsters?
I
No.
haven't, but I did actually pick up The Monsters Revenge on DVD recently because I haven't actually seen anything monsters related before.
Okay.
How I know of the monsters is actually, as I mentioned, I'm a fan of this YouTube channel called The Game Chasers, where they go hunting for retro consoles. They also have another show called The Toy Chasers, where they go looking for vintage toys from the 80s and that. But one of the main guys on there is called Billy. He's a massive Monsters fan, so that's how I was first introduced to the series. But I still haven't actually watched anything of the Monsters, and when I found that DVD in a charity shop, I picked it up.
Okay. All right. Cool. I was just thinking, just I was looking at your bookcases behind you.
Yeah.
Now, I know we had that discussion about you setting up your room, right? And I honestly don't go with bookcases like that where they've got no back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you do your room in your colour that you've chosen, and then you put that strip lighting around the backs of them,
Yeah.
up and down, you'll get all the colour on the back through. That'd look great. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
I was just thinking that just popped in my
Yeah.
head because
Yeah.
they have no backs.
Yeah.
That would
Well,
just
which I do like because, like, with this bookcase alone, each of these shelves holds like 69 DVDs and Blu-rays. So it goes like 3 stacks back, which is how I managed to keep so much space on it
yeah.
the past years because it can go through. Like, my Blu-rays here is where, as you can see, it stops. It's only just filling in the second space behind it, whereas the DVDs goes all the way down to the bottom one, and that the bottom one is getting near full as well. So I only have one more alcove really free on this, which has my VHS tapes. And then the smaller one that I have is only 4x4, which that holds my TV series. That's also running out of room. The fourth alcove is currently holding what books I have left on display, but yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to getting the two 9x9 ones from Woody's DIY, because I can get a lot on there. It'll take a good while with the amount I pick up every week to have that filled up, whereas this is taking about a year and a bit. With those two, plus probably the small one that I'll bring up, because I'll probably just leave that one there. Otherwise, my sitting room will look very, very bare. It's going to take quite a while before I fill up my collection again.
That's cool. Now, Danny here in the next message has said that he's picked up the best Star Trek film, he says. I think we need to talk. He's off. Look, he's off. I think now my wife's away from Thursday. She's away for a week. So I think next weekend, if you're free, would be a great time to do our first Star Trek watch at some point. If I can do any time of day. If you're we should talk about getting that one of them in.
It depends on when I start the room, because I'll have to let my mate know. And it all depends on when I can get the skip to me and how long it takes to get all the other stuff. My plan was to do it at the weekend, but I could easily do it early week, so I should then be free by the weekend.
Well, I do have some days free in the week as well. So even if it's if you know, I'll let you know my availability. I've got quite a bit from. I've got a few days off work from Thursday leading into even the next weekend. But we'll talk about it and get something in, and we'll finally get that done. Where me and Michael here is going to watch much like what Thingy does.
What video tasties.
And we're going to watch both Star Trek lovers, but we have a different opinion on the best Star Trek film, and we're going to watch both of our favourites and discuss the the flaws and the what's good about them, and fight over what's best.
Yeah, well, we all know it's First Contact.
Well, we don't, do we? Come on now.
No, we do.
We don't. We don't.
It's First Contact.
We'll see if you can change my mind in the video. Yeah, Knight's Tale. That's the one I was thinking of.
That's the one, yeah.
Do you know? I've never seen A Knight's Tale.
I haven't. I think I've seen it once or twice in my local CEX, but I haven't actually gone to pick it up. I actually haven't seen anything that Heath Ledger is in. I've seen clips of a few things, obviously, but I actually haven't seen any of his films that he's in.
I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of Heath Ledger. Never have been. It's funny. I thought he was fantastic as the Joker. He's brilliant. He's brilliant as the Joker. No issue with him there. But outside of that role, and I've got a few actors like that actually. I don't like Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, I only like him in Blade.
Right? But I thought he was perfectly cast as Blade.
Yeah.
I don't like Jared Leto.
Yeah, no, I don't like. I like him in 30 Seconds to Mars, his band, but then again, only like a small handful of their songs.
No, I'm not aware of that stuff. But I did like.
No, they're a bit too heavy for your liking.
Yeah, I didn't. How do you know what my liking is?
You're old. You tend to stick to the classics Yeah, you're old. You tend to stick to the classics of the 50s and 60s. Oh, the time when you grew up.
I'm getting insulted here. I grew up in the 80s. I did like Jared Leto as bad as the film is. I didn't mind his casting as Michael Morbius. Yeah. I'll say that.
I still haven't seen Morbius, and I don't intend to.
I thought he was suitable for that character.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for Ryan Feld? This is Joe. Hi, Joe. Yeah, we discussed that a bit earlier, Joe.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen more Nicolas Cage in it. I feel that the trailer only showed us possibly stuff from the first 15, 20 minutes of the film. And I think it's a film with a good concept that I'll possibly come out of feeling somewhat let down. That's the impression I get from it. Jamie's not seen either cuts of Knight's Tale. Loved the Clive Owen movie Shoot 'Em Up. It was a good film. Have you seen that?
Nope.
It's just beginning to end action. With one of my favourite actors working today, Paul Giamatti. Have you seen American Spender? Wonderful film about a comic book writer, Harvey Pekar. I haven't seen that. No, I have to put that on the.
No, I haven't seen that either.
I'm in a mood for rare Blu-ray hunting. Anyone else? I don't really go out with any thingy in mind. With any sort of, I'm looking for rare ones or anything like that. If I find something that happens to be worth a bit and I get it for a good price, bonus. Otherwise, I just go and look.
Yeah, like when I was out looking for AI, artificial intelligence, that's when I found that Family Guy It's a Trap Blu-ray special edition with the T-shirt still sealed and the trading card still sealed. So I bought that. I looked it up on eBay. I looked at the sold listings, and it was there had only been 2 recent ones from back in November, and it sold anywhere from 10 to 20 euro. So I got it for about a tenner. And then the only other kind of expensive Blu-rays that I have in my collection that I know of would be Series 1 of Doctor Who on Blu-ray. That I think it would be in around the 30 range. And then surprisingly enough, that's why I pulled it off of the shelf. Apocalypse Now, the final cut.
Okay,
I didn't know it at the time. I still have yet to see it. But I think last time I looked at this, it was sold. A bunch of the sold listings were for about 25.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Now it probably has gone down since then, but it's one of the more expensive ones that I know of that's in my collection, because I don't really keep a track of all the selling prices. I tried to do that when I collected video games, and it was a massive headache.
But do you, when you go into CEX, do you look at do you see something and then come away onto your phone and say, sometimes I wonder how much that goes for?
Only if I see a DVD that would be in like more than 10. Like I seen a Dracula film in my local CEX on DVD from 1979, and they wanted 25 for it.
Yeah. So bear with me.
Yeah.
I'll bring up the next message. Where is it? I've lost some messages. Sod it. How do I get old messages back?
I think you just scroll up.
Yeah, I do, but it stops at certain bits. I think I've lost a load.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm sorry, people. If I've jumped messages, I am so sorry. I've got Danny saying, "Hi, one real nerd. Hello, all my friends." So this is 7 minutes ago, so I don't know where. How do I get these older messages back? Sodding hell. All right, so Danny says, "I'm almost at CEX. Hello, my friend. Blue Harvest. Live long and prosper." His little thingy. Don't think it's on Blu-ray. Done it. Okay, search for Spock. What's One Real Nerd? What's that? Let me get my charger.
I think he's referring to the third film as his personal favorite, which it's a good movie. Like I have no qualms against it. Like I remember when I watched it for the first time, going into it, like from what my mother had told me, that the even number Star Trek films were great and the odd number Star Trek films weren't as great. But I remember after watching The Search for Spock for the first time, I think I've only ever seen it maybe once or twice, and it's a pretty good movie. I genuinely enjoyed it. Love seeing Doc Brown as a Klingon before he was actually Doc Brown as well. So yeah, it's a good movie. It's better than Wrath of Khan, that's for sure. And yeah, that's just my take on this Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Do you put Star Trek 3 above Star Trek 2? Or are you just saying that?
Yeah, I put Star Trek 3 above Star Trek 2.
Wow, okay. Star Trek 3 is it's a decent film, yes. And I do say after a rewatch from a while ago that I put it above Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, which I think has aged incredibly.
I haven't seen The Voyage Home in a while, but I definitely enjoy The Voyage Home.
I think go on.
I know, I was just saying it took so long for me to get that on Blu-ray. As I mentioned in a rant video I done last October, where I've ordered that movie, essentially now ordered that movie 4 times from my local CEX. Got cancelled 3 times.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, that once, sure, that's fine. I guess that the disc wasn't suitable enough, or someone nicked the case. Second time, okay, that's what I get for trying to order that from just when it's only in one store. Third time, are you serious? Fourth time's the charm, because I knew I was in a CEX that I had a friend who was the manager in, and I knew he would get it to me regardless. So I have all of the original series Star Trek movies now on Blu-ray, and I'm only missing Generations to get on Blu-ray, and then I'll have all 13 Star Trek movies on Blu-ray.
Cool. Okay, I don't know what I've done. I pressed something and I've gone back up to 1201 for messages. So I have got some of them back.
Okay.
So I'll quickly run through. So, but what was I saying? Sorry. Oh yeah, Star Trek 4. I think just before I go on from that, I think Star Trek 4 is the most accessible Star Trek film for a non-Star Trek audience.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's liked by a lot of people, because for that purpose. It'd be interesting to see where that's ranked by people from a Star Trek fan point of view to a very
someone who's only had not as great a knowledge of the franchise. I'm definitely going to be doing like a big retrospective review of all the Star Trek movies in spring, because it's been a while since I've seen a lot of them, so I want to actually sit down and rewatch them from beginning to end, including Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline. I'm even going to be re-reviewing the two Star Trek movies I've already done a review of last year, being Star Trek 09 and obviously the best Star Trek movie ever made, First Contact.
Yeah.
And I know Doctor Impossible keeps trying to get me to like Star Trek 5, but I've only ever seen it the once, so
he's got to be on the wind up there.
Yeah. Well, I actually need to head off now, so I will chat to you later. So thanks for having me on again.
Check it out. All right, mate. Take it easy. Nice to have you on.
See
you
later.
Bye-bye. Take care, Mike. So that was Michael. He's buggered off. Like I said, I'd gone solo and he was just there. I said, "Oh, pop in." So let me turn that around. My hand getting in the way is annoying me massively. So yeah, sorry about those messages going missing. I don't know what happened there. So Dan over at Oceans having a little chat. They're in a chat about Pokemon, Pokemon Go tournament. So I think that's what Pokemon Go is. That the game where you go around? I think that's what Michael was talking about. Way to Newbury, Space, the Final Frontier for collectors. Yes, I used to collect Pokemon. I'm not into Pokemon. Countryside is amazing. Do you collect cards, Danny? Dan, yes, I used to play in the 80s. True, Mark. I used to play in the 90s. So I'm rushing through some of these. I'm downsizing, but need motivation. Downsizing is so difficult to do from a collection point of view. I've done it before with Blu-rays, and then I feel, at some point down the line, it's like I need to get that again. Are those figures that I just showed, Danny? No, they're from Disney solely from Disney Store. Hello, my friends. One Real Nerd. Hello. Get remote ones. It's cold. You get some floating. You could get some floating shelves. You could do. I need still in bed. I have days like that. I can't blame you. I get a dome lights have sticky dome. I think sticky on the bottom. One Real Nerd. Hello, all my friends. Oh, I'm back to where I was. Hello, my friend. Almost here. Don't think you Blu-ray Danny. Search for Spock. Generation. Okay, here we are. We're back to where I was, sort of, I think. I may still have missed some, so I do apologise on that. I don't know what I've done with the comments. Star Trek Generations. When did that come out? 96, 97? 97? 94? Alexa is not plugged in. I don't. Generations. I think that was 94. Yes, 94. I remember going to Generations, couple of conventions up in London, Royal Albert Hall, around that time. It's a great film. I love Star Trek Generations. It's my favourite of those latter four. Blue Harvest says 2, 6, 3, 4, 1, 5. That's quite a spot on ranking for the Star Trek films. I wouldn't. Wrath of Khan, Undiscovered Country, Search for Spock, Voyage Home, Motion Picture, and Final Frontier. One Real Nerd likes the motion picture. I did like the rewatch I'd done of it when I got the 4K a little while ago. It stands up. It's a lot better now than what I recall it being. Generations I will watch tonight. I was in the mood for it. I was in the mood for that slow. It's quite interesting how it's very set bound, as in on the bridge. So much of it occurs on the bridge, and not a lot happens. But it's a nice looking film. Danny says he's glad that the motion picture got a release on 4K, as it did need a polish. I have Blu-rays of Star Trek. One Real Nerd, all the films. Yes. I don't think First Contact is the best Star Trek film at all, but that's a fantastic scene, well acted by Patrick Stewart. Yes. But it doesn't make the film as good, because if you show that scene, I'll show you a scene where Deanna Troy's drunk. That's so cringe. I only have the Star Trek movies on DVD, but upgrading them. You should watch Heath Ledger in Two Hands or 10 Things I Hate About You. I've not seen either of those two films. Is that Heath Ledger film easy to get a hold of? But yeah, motion picture was rushed out. It's that Star Wars thing, wasn't it? Everyone wanted to get on that bandwagon and make that Star Wars money. They need to release the 4K Star Treks in a steelbook collection. I wouldn't get them, because I have the 4Ks of Star Trek, and I do have each film in a steelbook as well, but not 4K. Blu-ray steelbook with the movie art. They've done for the 50th anniversary, because the spines all match up, give you 50th down the side. And they are really nice steelbooks, so I can't see them improving upon those steelbooks that were done there, aside from the fact that reissue with 4Ks inside. So I wouldn't venture into that again. Started watching the new series The Rig with Ian Glenn from Game of Thrones. Pretty good. The Thing vibes. Only watched 2 eps. Anyone else watch it? I saw a trailer for it, and I am gonna start watching it. Yes. The setting intrigues me. Don't tell me anything about it. The fact you've already got me, you've sold it on Thing vibes as well. Yes, I will watch that one. Although I've got to catch up on, I haven't finished Wednesday yet. I haven't finished Jack Ryan yet. I need to get back into the TV stuff. I'm finding it really difficult. Although, like I said, with sorry, I was reading another message there, and it's totally, I'm really bad for that. I look at the messages and something else goes in my mind and it takes me off. Yeah, I've really got to get back into the TV stuff. One Real Nerd. Use the Force to find messages. That lightsaber you got, AJ, I saw was on offer in my comic book shop, £100. What lightsaber? Oh, hold on a minute. I have got one beside me, actually, because the table behind me has got stuff on, because I was doing a lot of filming over the last few days. So I do have a lightsaber here, which is the I've filmed an opening for it. It is I might as well show it now, even though I've done an opening. The opening will still come. So this is a Force FX Elite Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. You've got the stand there, like so. And like I said, I have done an opening, but it is weeks away. Now, it does come with a different head. Now, this head here is sort of film accurate in that it goes very thin. And this is what Force FX lightsaber of this has lacked. It's always been something like that, because you can't get the blade through with that. So I'll unscrew that, I'll take that off. So to display it without the blade, it's you use that head there. And you got the blade here. As you can see, it does say Obi-Wan Kenobi on it there, because if you're collecting a lot of these, you end up with loads of different blades and you don't know which one it's for. So that tells you that. So the reason it's thicker for use is because the blade has to go through that pack there, has to reach into that there, and you slot it in, screw it in place. Let me just turn this light off that I have set aside me, just a little bit darker, not much, and it will ignite like so. Yeah, so, and what I like about this, I've got a lot of Force FX lightsabers, including the older ones, and what I like about this is there is a slower movement to it coming back in, as you can see. It looks fantastic in the dark. It does have other features where if you press, it's like blaster deflecting. Yeah, so it's actually a really nice piece. Really nice lightsaber. The new Elite. This is the only Elite from the new Elite range that I've got. I did buy Darth Revan's lightsaber when that was released. Now I like that one because it came with a kyber crystal, which could be charged inside the hilt, and you take it out and it still glows. But I had it for less than a week. Oh, it did have a color changing thing to it, so you could have it either red or you could have it purple, because in Star Wars lore, Darth Revan, who's not from the films, he switched sides. He went from like dark, and the color was reflective of that, so you could change it from red to purple. But unfortunately it got stuck on red after about a week and just wouldn't change color. So I weren't happy, so I sent it back and got a refund on it, because I wasn't sure whether the new technology was there to do this stuff yet. That being said, there is a re-release of the Darth Revan one coming in April or May. I may try it again then. And the other one I'd be interested in getting is the Rey one, the lightsaber that Rey has at the very end of the Rise of Skywalker, where it's made out of her staff. It's a very thick lightsaber, and it's an orange colour. They're nice. They're nice. Now, the first ever Force FX lightsaber I got was a Darth Vader one. I bought it for £50 off of a fellow who was selling it in Epsom, unboxed. I've still got it. I went and picked it up, and then Woolworths were selling, I think they were Luke Skywalker ones, if I recall rightly. This was around the early, probably about 2006, I want to say, and they were selling for £50. All they had were these Luke Skywalker ones. So I bought two of them. I bought one for me and one for my son, who was about 6 at the time. I've still got his one upstairs. When he gets his own house soon, hopefully he'll take it with him. So I bought two of them, one of us each. And then over time, I've picked up more, and I do have. I have a fair few Force FX lightsabers, but this is the only one at the moment where you can take the actual blade out, because it's these new Elite ones where you can remove the blade, which is the new upgraded versions, which are, they're really good. And it just runs on, you undo the bottom, and it just runs on 3 AAA batteries in that battery pack there. But it's got it's weighty. It's got good detailing. I like how the grip looks like it's got some wear on it, as you can see. like it's been handled a bit. And it's nice to have an Obi-Wan Kenobi one where, like I said, this is thin. This bit goes thin. Even though that's just for display purposes. I do have a Darth Maul one, which is connectable in the middle. The thing is, you've got to buy two to get that. Although I've done a bit of a naughty one with Amazon on that, because Amazon, I ordered one, Amazon delivered it, and they left it outside the house, just leaned up against the wall. No packaging, it's literally just the box. Anyone could have walked past and just grabbed it and taken it away. So I weren't very happy. And ultimately, someone walked past and took it away. And I said to Amazon, it's gone missing. No, what happened to it? Well, we got a photo of it leaned up outside the house. Well, why would you lean it up outside the house? There's a porch that you could open and put it in. So they sent me a second one. So 2 for the price of 1. There we go. But no, nice. If you get one for £100, it's good. But again, like I said, I don't want to collect. I don't want to collect. I ain't got space. Of course I want to collect. I just ain't got the space for it all. Sorry about that. I went off on a tangent there. So the One Real Nerd says, Voyage Home is flawed. The transfer isn't great due to the visual editing. Clearly someone was sleeping on the job when it was done. I've not seen the 4K version of it. I'll be in the Blu-ray version, okay. Yeah, I ain't got to the 4K version of that yet. Yes, the rig does look promising. I'm a big The Thing fan, so I'm interested. I think it's available on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I will watch that. Danny's still on the bus, chucking it down with rain on his way to his Blu-ray hunting. Go sub to Danny. He's got a good channel. Wish I had headphones on. Oh, wait. Have I? Oh, no, I ain't lost. Don't get rid of movies or you will regret it. Yes, you will. When I do my new room, I unpacked a lot of old TV stuff. Like I've done that box of forgotten TV of stuff the other day. I knew that I hadn't come across my Babylon 5s. I knew that the TV series The Pretender was missing, La Femme Nikita, and even with the TV, I'd never get rid of my TV stuff, ever. I don't know why. I think maybe some films would go before TV stuff. I think TV stuff becomes harder to get a hold of. And I don't know, I just love a lot of my TV stuff. I've got 2 videos in the pipeline. One which is top 10 or 10, I won't say top 10, but 10 TV shows that need a physical media release. And yes, I know it's very easy to probably fill up with Star Wars and Marvel stuff. Totally, I could do 10 of them. But they are included, but under that banner, literally Star Wars and Marvel. Because I didn't want to separate. WandaVision needs one, Loki needs one, Hawkeye needs one. Take Marvel as all under that one banner. Yeah. Been there, One Real Nerd, bought them back again. I'm off now, AJ. Just landed in CEX. Okay, Dan, take care. I never get rid of stuff. Yeah, it was more a case of coming out of the DVD era into the Blu-ray. I've never got rid of Blu-ray. But coming out of DVD era, coming out of VHS era into DVD, I got rid of lots and then slowly replaced. But I think what it is, as opposed to getting rid of stuff, it's a case of not being able to find stuff, because I've decanted films out of their boxes and put them into slips, like CD holders, plastic things. And I've moved several times. So it's to do with that. There's a lot of stuff in my mind that, did I have or didn't I have? What happened to it, kind of thing. Thanks for having me. Got to get stuff done. Take care, all. And TJ, take care, mate. Thanks for popping in. Ross Dogg's Broken Spirit. Let's talk about why Ezra Miller is still the Flash. I did talk about this towards the beginning of the stream. Yeah, so it's quite intensive. I went quite in depth. So all I can suggest is go back and catch up with that, because I've done quite a bit about it, looking at both sides of the argument. Yeah. So far, watching The Wrath of Khan, it's only been a positive experience for me, watching Star Trek for the first time. Superb. Yeah, because I know you've got a review for that coming soon, which I am looking forward to. See your thoughts on it. Looking forward to watching the third film. Watch them all, yes. Have you got the Deep Space Nine, What We Left Behind? I think is a documentary. Yes, I have it somewhere. Yeah, I love Deep Space Nine. My favorite of the Star Trek TV series. Yeah. So I got a lot of love for the cast, a lot of love for the show. Avery Brooks, I think, is just fantastic. I think he just there's so much he brought to that character of Sisko. You know, being that he's a single father, he's struggling with that at the same time as commanding his space station, and heading up the Dominion, the Dominion War and all this sort of thing. He's one of the most relatable Star Trek captains because of the father side of it, and at the same time, he's one of the most militaristic Star Trek captains as well. I just thought he was fabulous in the role. I really get a kick out of Avery Brooks's performance. Have you? Oh, I've just done that one. Sorry. When built my home theaters in my house, I really learned watching stuff. It's truly amazing and super enjoyable. 4K projectors help with the older films because of the smoothing effect. Yeah, I don't work off of a projector. I've got 75-inch TV, 4K TV in the front room. Even my room upstairs, I think I said this to you in a message, I don't have a TV in my room upstairs. I did look at putting one in there, but it took up too much space, in that I knew that it was space that I could utilize for my collectibles, and I would never watch anything up there in that room, even with a TV up there. It just wouldn't be watched, because I come down here and I watch. It's my favorite place to watch. Just watching the 10 Commandments on 4K. How's it look? How's the transfer on that? Blu-ray version of 10 Commandments is truly amazing transfer. How many Trek films have I seen in the cinema? I would say, I'll be honest, I wouldn't have seen the motion picture. I was too young. This is Gareth here, my nemesis. Oh, I left. That's one message I missed out that was lost when Gareth called me his nemesis. One of my nemesi. Star Trek Nemesis. Okay, I've seen them all with the exception of Wrath of Khan, motion picture, and I'm unsure on The Search for Spock. Yeah. Because of age, and I don't know. I remember clearly seeing The Voyage Home because I was super excited. Like I said, it's most accessible Star Trek film for a non-Star Trek audience, and very feasibly at that time, although I was aware of Star Trek and had seen Star Trek and the repeats that were on TV at the time, was it the BBC? I believe that it was for that reason, the accessibility factor of Star Trek 4 would have been my first one. But yes, so I was going to say that Gareth I was on Gareth's channel the other night for a Star Trek Knight Rider view. When we spoke about Knight Rider, and boy, did I feel like I knew nothing. I was just sat there like, But I'm hoping the tables will turn on that one, Gareth, when we do the Punisher. Yes, the Punisher. We're going to, I think it's April, he said, that he's penciling me in for a Punisher 1989 sit down and watch. And believe me, when I get talking about the Punisher, I get talking about the Punisher. It won't stop. But Gareth, if you want me for the other Punisher projects as well, if you do 2004, 2008, I'm up for them as well. And Barbed Wire. Yes. Gareth got Barbed Wire the other day sent to him. He had a package of a load of VHS tapes, and he got Barbed Wire. And for me, Barbed Wire is one of those films based on a comic book from Dark Horse Comics that I read prior to the film coming out. I knew of the comic character under Dark Horse. They had at the same time, because Dark Horse was never renowned for sort of superhero based comic books as such. They done a lot of movie time ones. They had Star Wars, they had Alien, they had Predator, all this sort of stuff. Terminator, they used to do back in the day. They used to get a lot of licensed stuff. Then they set up their own characters, starting with a character called X, Barbed Wire, and there's another one called Ghost, which was a female that was essentially a ghost type thing. I think Adam Hughes done a few covers on that, and these characters came about, and then Barbed Wire was taken and turned into a film at a time when Dark Horse were doing some film properties. The Mask was a Dark Horse comic book, the Jim Carrey film. Believe it or not, Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme was based upon a Dark Horse comic property, and they'd done Barbed Wire as well. And Pamela Anderson very much suited the role to Barbed Wire, shall we say, even to the point that the character in the comic was probably very much based upon her. So I have a love for that film in a kind of guilty pleasure kind of a way. I still have the trading card sets from it. I have books on it. I've got 4 versions of the film on Blu-ray. I've got a steelbook from Germany, a digipack from Germany. I've got the US Blu-ray release, and the UK, different covers. And there we go. So I'm up for that one as well. If Gareth's still watching, he probably ain't. One Real Nerd, thumbs up. I still have VCR tapes on my LG VCR, keeping it. I got rid of all VCR tapes. I've got 3 videotapes. 3 videotapes. 2 of them were gifted by Matt over at Matt V's Movies, and that was Star Trek Deep Space Nine, the pilot episode. I've got the Saving Private Ryan, a special edition with some stuff in it, art cards and this, that again Matt sent me because he knows that I like the World War II era of stuff, and Saving Private Ryan's a fantastic film. And also I just bought off of eBay, and this is because of Gareth and the potential Punisher chat, that I thought I want the Punisher 89 on VHS. Even though I ain't got a VHS player, I want that VHS. It's a lovely box. It's got silver foil for the title of the Punisher. So I paid £5 for it. And that's coming as a nostalgic kind of collectible. I don't really like having a lot of movies. This is Dan over at Oceans. Go subscribe to Dan at Oceans. He's a great channel. I don't really like having a lot of movies. I feel like I tried to keep my collection as minimal as possible. Also because I don't have a lot of space to play around with at the moment, but it grows. It grows. Hi lads, enjoying the chat. Esmaniac here. Hi Esmaniac. Richard Vouston says, hi AJ, are you unwell? Why? Interesting question. Do I look unwell? Tired. I won't say I'm unwell. Maybe mentally unwell. Who knows? Why do you ask that? Just out of curiosity. Give me a reason why. Tank Girl. Yes, Tank Girl is another Do you know I've never seen Tank Girl? I've never watched it. I remember, I think, if I'm right, I don't know if you know the magazine SFX here in this UK magazine. If you're here in the UK, it's still going today. I'm pretty sure that issue 1 of SFX had Tank Girl on the cover, on its cover. Yes, I believe it had that on the cover. I remember going and visiting Alien War in London's Trocadero. Alien War being a sort of alien live action alien experience, which was very, very good. Yeah, fantastic. And I'm sure they were selling it there, if I remember rightly. Me neither. Esmaniac hasn't seen it either. Esmaniac movie quiz. Neither. Your voice sounds a bit hoarse. I don't know. I don't think I'm unwell. Maybe I'm just a bit. Well, I've been at this hour and 40 minutes. Maybe I'm just a bit overspoken, and it's drying my mouth out. Let's have a bit of this tea. Oh, that's cold. Let's not have a bit of that tea. Dan says here at Oceans, AJ, have you read any of the Blade Runner comics? Okay, yes. So at the moment, Titan Comics are releasing Blade Runner comics. They started with Blade Runner 2019. But Blade Runner 2019 was actually a comic book that started in 2019. It ran for 12 issues, at which point after that, they gave us Blade Runner 2029. You can see where this is going. Again, a 12-issue series that ran across the year. And they've given us Blade Runner Origins, which again, another 12-issue Blade Runner series. And we're just starting on Blade Runner 2039. So 2019, 2029, 2039, and then you've got the film 2049, haven't you? Again, on top of that, they've also done a Blade Runner Black Lotus comic book series, which is maybe 4 or 5 issues in. And this here is a follow-on from the anime TV series Blade Runner Black Lotus that I did very much like. I had to bootleg the Blu-ray. I did watch it as it was on weekly, and I did review them back then. And because I love the Blade Runner world. I love the world of Blade Runner. Now, I'm going to say something a bit that sort of riles people up. I'm not the biggest fan of Blade Runner 1, the first film. I think visually it's a fantastic film. I think it's very well directed. The set design, the production, I can't fault any of it. What I can fault about the film is that it is so slow and boring. It bores me to tears, but I watch it regularly. I watch it regularly, trying to get out of it what other people get out of it. I really do. I love everything about it, but it's pacing. I think Blade Runner 2049 is a far better film. I can watch that. I mean, I think it's better paced. I know it is slower. It's better paced. It's more interesting. But I love the world. I love the world building of Blade Runner, and I'm drawn to it. That's why I love 2049. That's why I read the comic books, and I like the TV animated series. But that first film, although there's just something that I don't get what other people get from it. I don't get that thing, which is unfortunate. But I like the world so much that Blade Runner is included. Do you know what I mean? It's just the pacing. I put it on and I can see it for what it is and what it gives me on the screen, but I just can't get past that pacing. Might have room for barbed wire in February. Yeah, I'd love to do a barbed wire one as well as Punisher. just because, like I said, it's just a film that I know it's one of those films that people don't like and it gets a lot of bad rap, but it's a decent, if you've read the comics, and not many people would have read the Barbed Wire comics, there's not that many of them. You can probably count on two hands how many actual issues of Barbed Wire comic there actually is. It's not a lot. It's not a big comic or anything like that. So, it's more of a film audience film as opposed to let's get comic book people on board. But I have fun with it. I've got no, as bad as some of her acting is in it, Pamela Anderson, I think it's a decent interpretation of the comic book to screen adaptation. There are images, there's cut scenes, I know. Images are very prevalent within the magazines and within even in the trading card set, there's images there that don't exist in the film. But yeah, like you said, that shower scene at the beginning, when she's dancing on stage, what can I say? Glad you're feeling okay anyway, old bean. Yes, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling at the moment. I can't watch Star Trek the motion picture, same reason. I get that. I totally get that. Star Trek the motion picture is a Star Trek film that I avoided watching for a long time. If I ever done Star Trek rewatches, I would start with 2. Skip 5 as well. Although there's stuff within 5 to like. I can't. And you're right, Richard. I was coughing actually earlier when I was filming a build. My throat is a bit funny. You're correct. Nicely pointed out. I only remembered I was coughing over there when I just coughed then. My throat is a bit dry. I'm going to have to get a drink in a minute. What was I saying? Star Trek the motion picture. So there's one that I would avoid. Start with 2, watch through, avoid 5, although there are elements within 5, the character stuff between the characters that you can't knock. I'll give it that, because when you got them characters together, there's just something special happens when you have them Star Trek characters together. So there's elements of 5 that are worth it for that reason. And I watched 4 on 4K a few months back when the 4K, the direct version was released. And I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't skip it again in a rewatch. I'd go back and I'd watch it. I think it's... you got to be in the mood. Definitely got to be in the mood for it. You're right. Yes. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The writer of Blade Runner 2049 is involved in, at least I know he's involved in the 2019 comic books. I think once you get out of 2019, what happens is, and I'm saying this, I may be wrong, I'm not 100% correct, but I think the way it went is that he came on board for 2019 comic book, worked with another writer in tandem, and then when you get to 2029, he jettisons, but you've got the other writer that he's worked with on that one. And again, they're very good. They're very good comic books. Visit to that world, because Blade Runner's bigger than the Deckard character, he's just your sort of, you join him through the journey of the world. There's so many stories that could be done within that world that's been built there. But yeah, until you mentioned that, I should have said that. Totally agree with you regarding Blade Runner original. Never clicked with me personally, and I've revisited it numerous times over the years, but still can't take it. I've got several copies of it, including the new Film Vault version. Like I said, it's a film. It's a film I really want to like. It's a film. It's very difficult to convey feelings on it. I know, I'm aware of its relevance. I'm aware of its importance. There's so much done right in the film. It just comes down to the pacing of the film. It's the only bit that puts me off every time. Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing with it. But you know, it just sets up a wonderful world, a world that I want to revisit more and more. Blade Runner does feel a tad slower with the second film, but Blade Runner does feel a lot slower than the second film. Maybe it could be the story isn't as interesting or engaging. It could be. Remember, this film essentially flopped on opening. It was only later on that it became a sort of cult classic. I was lucky enough to see all Treks in the cinema. Started with 4 on release, and the first 3 were on in the cinema when Generations came out. Okay. It's not very often that I get to go or go to the cinema to see an older film when they get re-released. Something I've never really done, just because obviously I've seen them. I remember Generations coming out. And I still think it's the best of the 4. I think it's the most filmic looking of those 4. Before they went back to going feeling very much like TV episodes. There's something about they changed up the visual, the lighting, the 4 Generations. There was something there that felt different upon watching it on the screen. There's a difference in aesthetic between, even though the sets are the same and it's the same ship and all that, same uniforms, there's a difference in the aesthetic, the way it's filmed from the TV series to that film, that I think that then when you got to First Contact, you went back to that similar aesthetic. Even though you had a new ship, you've got new uniforms and all this sort of stuff. I don't think with First Contact, I don't think Jonathan Frakes helped being in the director's chair. I think Jonathan Frakes is a well-established director. I think he's very good at directing. I won't knock that from him, but I think, and I will always say this, the problem is that you needed a different eye. You needed a different visual on that. You needed someone to step in from externally who could give it a different visual, a different. But Jonathan Frakes came from that TV world, being that he was on Star Trek, so it was like slipping into a comfy pair of shoes and giving you what you've had. I do feel the Blade Runner universe is somewhat underutilized, at least on screen. I'd like them to explore it more. Yes, I mean, this probably goes without saying, but I mean, you've probably heard the fan theories that, Blade Runner linked with Alien, the film Outland with Sean Connery. These 3 films all have this distinct visual aesthetic where they very much feel like they are connected universally as a film series, that you could say that, the Alien films are happening later down the line, especially with the thing with the replicants and the androids in Alien. You got that connection, connective tissue. You have Outland with Sean Connery, feels like it's set within that same Alien universe. Aesthetically, again, it just feels. They all feel, like they could all fit. And then obviously with Blade Runner, should we talk about the movie Soldier with Kurt Russell, which is and isn't a sort of Blade Runner sidequel type of a film. It's not the best of films. Enjoyable film. Kurt Russell was good in it. I enjoyed Kurt Russell, and again, it gives you that sort of a, Blade Runner. Don't give you Blade Runner aesthetic or anything. It feels completely different. It feels cheaper and more Hollywoody, should we say. My voice is getting dry. Richard, you're spot on. Richard may well have spotted something before it's cut. Who knows? But there we go. So I've been rambling for nearly 2 hours. I just thought that I would pop on because the wife's not home for work for another hour or so. My phone keeps illuminating for some unknown reason. Oh, what's this? Marvel's. Okay, a bit of news just come through. Whether this is true or not, let's turn that down. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agent Quake returning in 2023 in MCU project reportedly. Okay, we'll see if that happens. That's the actress Chloe Bennett, I believe. AJ needs Nick Quell. And what's Nick Quell? I don't know what that is. I certainly don't need a nap. I had enough of that last night. I was fine. But as soon as my missus gets home from work, I know that we are going shopping. We're going, going shopping. I've got to pop around my father's. And then back home. And I think I might very well be seeing Megan tonight. The movie about Killer Doll. So I might do a review for that tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. Monkey says it helps you get over a cold. I feel fine. I think it's just I've been speaking a lot and not got a drink here at hand. Shopping, aka CEX Hunt. No. I will do a CEX Hunt next Saturday. I'll say that. I'm going to Croydon next Saturday, without fail, where there is a CEX. Well, that's a smaller one. It used to be big, and they moved about 3 doors down, got a lot smaller, reduced the DVD, reduced the Blu-ray. I've been in there once. I've not been in there a second time since they've moved it. And that was a good few months ago, actually. So I'll be interested to see what they've got. I will do a filming of that. I will also go to the Forbidden Planet there, where hopefully I won't pick up nothing collectible because I ain't got the room. I need to stop. I will stop. I'm going to cut down. So I'll do that as well and go to my comic shop as well because they'll have about 3 weeks worth of stuff for me in there because I ain't been for a couple of weeks now. So I'll do that next week. I was going to go there today. I'll be honest, it was payday yesterday for me. And you know that sort of saying where you live like a king for the day and then you live like a pauper for the rest of that's very telling, very true thing to say for me. So I thought to myself, if I can get through this weekend without going out to any shops, back to the office Monday, all will be good. And then next weekend, I've got a week done without spending any money, or I've bought some stuff online, fair enough. And we'll do that. So if they release a doll version to buy of Megan, similar to Chucky dolls, will you buy one, AJ? You need to ask me after I've seen the film. But no, probably not. No, I wouldn't. No, I've got no. Even Chucky. I used to have a Chucky what was about yay big. From McFarlane Toys back when they'd done the Movie Maniacs. But I'll be honest, about 4 years ago, I sold a lot of stuff on, a lot of collectible stuff. I wasn't feeling very well in my head, like depression sort of thing. And I felt like I needed to declutter my mind. And that sort of manifested itself in a sense of decluttering a lot of collectible stuff that I had. So I had a lot of figures of Movie Maniac figures that I sold on, including that Chucky, including a massive Ash from Army of Darkness, which I kind of regret now, given my love for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, there's I had a RoboCop gun. I had a 1-to-1 scale BB replica RoboCop gun. I sold it. Why? I don't know. It helped with my mind at the time, decluttering, physically decluttering to mentally declutter. I don't know. I asked because you love that She-Spawn figure you bought. I love all my Spawn figures. I've got a lot of Spawn figures. Of Spawn himself from Mortal Kombat 11, different outfits. Yes. But again, I need to stop with those Spawn figures. I'll be honest, I have just asked the comic shop, my comic shop, I got onto the email to them and to the geezer there, name's Tom. I said to him, Tom, goes, are you getting this item in? Because I want it. There he goes about not collecting. Don't know if I've got an image of it still. I haven't. I may have one. No, I haven't got the image. Sodding hell. I'll show you. I'll bring it up. So it's one of the PVC Diamond Select Gallery figures. I'm just finding it on my phone. Just bear with me. PVC Gallery, and I like the PVC Gallery figures. I do. There we go. Here's the image of it. So I said to him, I goes to him, Tom, goes, this has just been released this week. Are you getting them in? Or will we get one? Can you get me one? It's from Marvel's What If, and it is Captain Carter in that uniform. Because, you know, as Marvel goes, I like the Captain America storyline. I like the story of him with Peggy Carter. I like the character of Peggy Carter. I like the transition of Peggy Carter, you know, what they've done with Captain Carter. And that'll be about 12 inches tall. I think it's a really nice figure. So I said, get me one of them. I want it. Saw some excellent Spawn figures over here in JB Hi-Fi. Yeah, there are. Todd McFarlane. McFarlane Toys is a fantastic company. Okay, McFarlane Toys is created by Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane was actually the creator of Spawn. He was a comic book writer, artist, who worked for Marvel. He was very prevalent in the 80s, early 90s. He effectively created Venom. He worked on Spider-Man a lot. He worked on Hulk. And in the early 90s, him and a load of other very famous names within comic book world left Marvel, because at Marvel, anything you create is owned by Marvel. You know, the royalties that you get from it are insignificant. And they weren't happy with this. They wanted to have the control for the characters that they created. So they set up Image Comics. And first comic from Image was Youngblood by Rob Liefeld. Then you had Spawn by Todd McFarlane. Then you had Wildcats, I believe, by Jim Lee. And you had Savage Dragon by a geezer called Eric Larson. So Todd McFarlane's always owned Spawn. Then he set up set up the toy company McFarlane Toys. Started off making Spawn's worth figures that he'd done then, but he made movie maniacs, which were licensed Terminator, Aliens, Predator, Freddy, Jason, Chucky, any of them characters you can think of. He's done figures from the movie Species 2, Snake Plissken figures, and they now go over to NECA. They're now licensed by NECA, but Todd McFarlane's does a lot of DC figures. McFarlane Toys. I know he's doing the Avatar 2 figures at the moment, and Spawn, obviously, Mortal Kombat Spawn characters and this sort of thing. Since the Wonder Woman actress got fired, she should be cast as She Spawn. Do you agree, AJ? Gal Gadot, we're talking about here. Yeah, I mean, she'd be as good a choice as anyone to play She Spawn. If they were ever to introduce that character into, well, I mean, it'd be nice to get a new Spawn film off the ground, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'd have no problem with that casting. Alan, Kermit. How you doing, Alan? Hope you're well. Hi, AJ. Hi, everyone. Kermit, good to see you. Here's a question to A in AJ. It's the J. The J is for James. Yes. Hi, Monkey. It's my middle name. Hi, Alan. Hi, Dan. Hi, Alan. Hi, Richard. Everyone saying hello. Did you watch the trailer for Evil Dead Rise, released this week? I'm not convinced, and with no Ash character being present, so straight away it's losing brownie points for me, AJ. Stay there, Rich. Let me just step aside. Get out there. Because I believe I'll show you. Oh. Now, like most people, I am a big fan of Bruce Campbell. Big fan. I love Bruce Campbell. And just grabbed off of my bookshelf over there in front of me, I've picked up the two books that I've got of his. If Chins Could Kill, Confessions of a B-Movie Actor, Bruce Campbell. It's a fantastic book. Such an easy read. It's all done in his voice. It is just Bruce Campbell through and through. And then we have here Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way, which is it's kind of a fictional semi-biographical book of Bruce Campbell attempting to get a film made called Let's Make Love. And it's just a hilarious book. So I love Bruce Campbell. So Evil Dead Rise. Now, Bruce Campbell, I know, is a producer on the film, which I'm happy about. It's got that input into it. I've watched the teaser trailer for the trailer introduced by Bruce Campbell, and I didn't watch the Red Band trailer because I want to go in blind. Now, I've got no issue with an Evil Dead film set within the world of the Evil Dead. I've got no issue with a film being set within that world. I will say that. So I will go in not deterred by the fact that Bruce Campbell isn't in it. It's a shame it's not Bruce Campbell isn't in it, but he's getting on. But yeah, so what can I say? I'll go in with an open mind and take it for what it is, and that's the best I can do. The best I can say for it. The thing is, I've probably more than most people, I've sort of, Bruce Campbell, the character of Ash, not only have I had in the Evil Dead trilogy, Ash versus Evil Dead TV series, but I have read all the comics as well. I know it's comic world, but it's still like following that character. So I've sort of lived a larger world of that character than probably some other people, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, so it is a shame, but he is getting old. We'll see what happens. All I can say is I'll go in with an open mind and take it for what it is. Must have known you'd be a fan of James Siberius. It's Tiberius. Tiberius. James T. Kirk. I like James Kirk. He's a great character. Hi, Kermit, says Richard. I believe Ash will appear in Evil Dead Rise in some way. I don't know. I don't know. If he did, it would need to make sense in the context of the story. That's all I'd say. If it doesn't have that, if it's the same book and he's chasing the book down or something, which is easy to do, but it's got if it was just if it felt forced, I'd probably say I don't want him there. I know that's probably, a strange thing to say, but it needs to make sense in the context of the film. Did you ever seen the show Burn Notice? Yes, I did. I did see Burn Notice. It was okay. He done a TV film, didn't he, of his character? I've got it on DVD somewhere. The character in that. But I think some of his favourite TV stuff for me is The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. I thought was fabulous. Any appearance that he made in Xena Warrior Princess as Autolycus, the King of Thieves, he just, what I mean? Any episode of that he came into, Xena or Hercules, done a few, he just stole that show from out of them leads, from out, swept it out under their feet. It was brilliant. It's a shame they didn't spin him off into an Autolycus TV, his own series afterwards. He was so good. Wow, great looking books. I might have to put them into my wishes. Seriously, these books are so easy to read. They are, you can just see him. They're funny, they're witty, they're just a real joy to read. If you're a Bruce Campbell fan, these books are spot on reads. It just, sorry, I've read them a couple of times. They're just so engaging. The poster of New Evil Dead looks average, but the trailer was fantastic. Looks like a good horror film to get into this year. Yeah, I'm going to go in, like I said, I'm going on the basis of it's an Evil Dead, and I'm going to go in blind. What more can I do? And take it for what it is. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. If I don't, I don't. What more can I say? But yeah, like I said, the Red Band trailer, I think I watched maybe 25 seconds of it and switched it off. Not because I didn't want to, because I just thought, I want to do this blind. I don't want to see anything. Groovy. Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king. Shop smart, shop S-smart. Yes. Yeah, great films. I love them. Okay, so everyone, thank you very much. I've been at this 2 hours and 15 minutes nearly. So I am going to get going because I need to do a bit of tidying up, a bit of washing up before the missus gets home. Not for any other reason, but no, it's I'm going shopping, like I said, but literally food shopping. She's away from Thursday with her daughter for a week. I'm on my own for a week, which is so nice. I like my own company. I get to watch what I want, read what I want, do what I want, eat what I want. I would say drink what I want, but I don't drink alcohol, so I'll just be drinking tea. all day long, no doubt. And yeah, so there we go. So do I have any videos up to I'll let you know what's coming? So I'm just having a look. Okay, so this week, bear with me. I will hopefully have that review of Megan tomorrow. No, I'll talk about this one actually. Mystic Mac. Rewatch Schindler's List. I watched Schindler's List about 4 days ago. Now it's always been a bone, not bone of contention. It's always been a thing that I put Schindler's List in and I switched it off because I was bored. Whether I wasn't in the mood or what, I don't know. But I turned it off. So what happened is the YouTube algorithm, for some obscure reason, the other day, about 5-6 days ago, started throwing up a load of Schindler's List scenes for me, which I watched. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch Schindler's List. And yes, it's a fabulous film. It's a fabulous film. It's not an entertaining film because it's like watching a history lesson more than anything else. So I wouldn't say that there's entertainment value in it. There's historic value in it. I know that the character played by Ralph Fiennes was actually toned back than what that person was like in reality, because he was far harsher. I know that than what, and that's considering how he was on screen, because he's quite harsh, but he was far harsher. I know that much. So yeah, I've watched it. I enjoyed it. It's a good film. I obviously wasn't in the mood the day that I put it on that time. I switched it off. And like I said, I didn't switch it off because it was a bad film. I switched it off because I wasn't. I was bored, basically. Mystic Mac. Bye, all. Richard, see you later, Richard. Damn, yeah, you are late, Noah. Your favourite Jack the Ripper suspect? Don't really know. Don't really think about it. Watched any film recently? Watching Schindler's List was a gas. One of my favourite biopics. I will say that the film didn't upset me. I don't know if I was meant to come away feeling emotional at the end. I don't know if it upset people and audiences came out in tears or anything. It had no impact like that because I've read about it years ago. I know essentially what was coming, what was, for the most part. It was a good historical revisit. Would I say it's one of my top war films, sort of World War II films? It depends what you want from a film, doesn't it? Like I said, I would I rewatch it? Maybe in a long, long time. Is it entertaining? No. It's educational. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. Because it's Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. So it looks like I'm going on for a little bit longer. So Star Trek II, yes. Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan is my favourite Star Trek film. Just because it is I love submarine set films. And I think it's one of the best submarine films out there. I liked the transition to sort of a more militaristic approach to the Federation that they'd done. it's just, I don't know, it just does everything right. I will say that second is Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country. Third would be Star Trek 3: The Wrath of Khan, above The Voyage Home. Yeah, that's all I can say. Have you watched the new trailer for Doctor Who David Tennant teaser trailer, 60 seconds long? I watched something about a week ago. I'm guessing that was that. Yeah, it's good to have Tennant back. That's the one where he's saying about if what's her face remembers, Donna remembers, it'll kill her and all that. Yeah, I did see that. So yeah. Excellent choice. Khan is the best one. Yes, it is. It is indeed. But anyway, so everyone, there we go. By the way, I accidentally logged out of my account. 1 minute I'm in the account, next I'm not. I don't know the password, so this channel is new channel for the definitive, for the definite. Okay, all right. Why don't you just write your logins down in a book or something? That's all I can say. Do it. Ross Dawes, Star Trek 3 is underrated. Kirk literally goes to hell to save his brother Spock. Yes, it is underrated. It truly is. There's a lot in that film that is great. It's got really emotional core to it. You know, what he goes to save Spock, the death of his son, David, what he does with the Enterprise. You know, he has to let go of the Enterprise. Yeah, I mean, the Enterprise itself is a character in Star Trek, isn't it? Very emotional film. The steel in the Enterprise, those scenes, there's some quality stuff in that film. Remember seeing Schindler's List cinema and came out of the cinema very downbeat. Very well made pseudo docu. Yes, it is. So yeah, everyone, I've watched Schindler's List. I liked Schindler's List. It's a hard watch. It's a good historical documentary biopic. No entertainment value, because it isn't entertaining, is it? It's depressing, and it really highlights the cruelty of the Nazi Party and what these people done. Sickening stuff, really. Yeah, when I released the channel, I didn't write passwords on books. Now I do, though. Are the Star Trek films similar in terms of the space naval? Okay, yeah, you get Star Trek's 2, 3, and 6, I would say, are the most similar in that sense. Star Trek 4 is a time travel story that is set primarily on Earth in the 80s, so it ejects that sort of stuff. That for itself, it's a good film. And like I've said before in this chat, it's the most accessible Star Trek film to a non-Star Trek audience for that reason. It's a good, fun film. I think it's aged a bit. That's to do with the fact that it's set in the 80s and you know, so it's not outside of that aging process. Star Trek 5 is again, there is some Klingon stuff in it, isn't there? With Klingon Bird of Prey, if I believe. It's been a while. But Star Trek 6 is when it goes back to feeling more akin to 2 and 3. And then the Next Generation ones are the Next Generation ones that you know, yeah. Saving Private Ryan for me every time. That was unbelievable. Yeah, I remember my cinema experience with Saving Private Ryan. I remember when trailers came out, and yes, it's a great film. Or is there some films that do it better than others? No, I'd say Star Trek is, is up there. Yeah, Renfield for me. I wish the trailer showed more of Nicolas Cage and not so much Nicholas Hoult. The trailer was, it looked good. It looked like it was influenced by the TV series What We Do in the Shadows somewhat. I like Nicolas Cage films. I think that it's a film where the concept might be richer than the execution. That's the only thing I might say from it. So it might be one of them films that I go into and come out somewhat disappointed by the end result. Remains to be seen, but I will see it. It's Nicolas Cage. Greeno looks very good indeed. I don't know if I told you this question. Yeah. Okay. Sorry to be this person, but you wouldn't tell me that. You'd ask me. What's my favourite genre? I suppose action, sci-fi, that sort of thing. Comic book genre. I'm sort of across the board. I'll watch any sort of film if it interests me. Glass Onion, Knives Out is a good film. It was a decent film, yes. It was a good film. I enjoyed it. I enjoy Daniel Craig's performance. I think Daniel Craig's performance is what draws me to it. I did see this. Yes, I did see the Nicolas Cage Superman Lives fan trailer. The animated one you're talking about, aren't you? Yes, I did. Nicolas Cage looked a bit weird, skinny. But, I've always said, why not? I don't know why DC don't take that script and animate the film. DC knock out a lot of animated films very regularly, as you know. I mean, I watch them all. So why not take that script, give us what, or a version of what that film could have been. Even get Nick Cage into voice, because he voiced Superman in the Teen Titans Go film, didn't he? I think it was Teen Titans Go. He voiced Superman, or he voiced him in something. Was it that one? I think it was. So yeah, why not do it? Style over substance for Renfield, possibly, yes. What would you rather watch, Knives Out 1 or Glass Onion? If you're asking me as what I'd rather watch this minute in time, I'd say Knives Out 1, because I watched Glass Onion 2 weeks ago, Knives Out 2 years ago, however long it was. So based on that, today is Nicolas Cage's birthday. Okay. Happy birthday, Nicolas Cage. Should make a Superman What If and let Nicolas Cage be Superman. Yeah, I think it should be. I think the animated way is the way to go with what they done, what that script was. Because you got to remember that Nicolas Cage Superman Lives film was essentially made. It was made, with the exception it just hadn't been filmed. What I mean by that is scripts were done, suits were done, costume was done, sets were built, and the film was just scrapped, and Nicolas Cage was paid for his time. He was paid for the film. The film never happened. It's an interesting story. There's a good documentary on it as well. I think is it The Death of Superman Lives or something like that it's called. Knives Out 3 is coming in 2024. Another Netflix original film. So again, films that probably won't make it to physical media. 59 years old for Nicolas Cage. Fair enough. Getting on. I like Nicolas Cage. Okay, so where are we now? 2.5 hours, people. I'm going to have to go now. 2.5 hours, because I'm going out shopping soon. The wife will be home. I've got some clearing up to do. Keep an eye out for that Megan review tomorrow because I'll be seeing it later. And whatever else I've got coming. I was going to look at what I've got coming. What do I have coming? Okay, on the 8th, it's not up as a premiere. On the 8th, I've got a video called A Problem Solved. Yes. It's to do with a niggling steelbook issue. On the 9th, I've got my top 10 streaming films that need a physical media release, but we won't get them. On the 10th, I have my final box of Forgotten DVD from the attic. And there's other stuff coming in the pipework. Take care, Alan. Thanks you for watching. Have you read the Santa Claus comics? I found out about them a few days back. I have not, no. I haven't. Dan Ocean, see you later all. Take care. So that's it. I'm done. No more messages. Thank you very much. Sorry about me missing some further up the list. I don't know what happened there with my messages, but I hate it when that happens. This is AJ. Thanks again. And I shall see you all very, very soon. Mega review tomorrow. I'll give you my thoughts. When's Defending the Dud episode 3 is out. Keep an eye. It's very soon. I've watched the film. I've done my video. I just got to edit it. It'll be late this month. They will be monthly. Hand pink waving. They will be. Defending the Dud will be a monthly thing. I'll say that. Anyway, obviously I will put a poll out for each one so that everyone can choose what film they want me to do, and that poll will include the runner-up of the last poll. So in this case, Battlefield Earth, plus 2 other titles in there. And yes, we'll take it from there. So it will be this month, Defending the Dud, Batman and Robin. Then February will be whatever the poll comes out with. So I'll see you all. Take care all. Thank you very much. See you soon. Goodbye.